Hello and welcome to episode 266 of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at DynastyDadFF. We got another great show for you. We just recorded episode 265, which if you guys didn't listen to that, that is our rebuild episode. That's one of everybody's favorites, so you guys can see where you're at. Snoog and I really wanted to talk to you guys about, what this 25 class is going to look like, how it compares to the 24 class, how it compares to current vets, and we're going to do a little bit of a keep trade cut style, a little bit of, what do you prefer from the 101? Is it this player? Is it that player? Without further ado, my main man Snoog, this 25 class, I keep watching college tape. I keep seeing highlights. I keep saying, damn, it feels like Christmas has come early because it's starting to look really good.
Christmas is having your favorite running back all last year somehow end up being the best college football running back of all time and likely going to win the Heisman, and Ashton Junty. Actually, funny story for work. This past late in the summer, before the college season started, for work, we're potentially partnering with Boise State, and I was speaking with their athletic director and their NIL strategy manager over there, and we are talking about Ashton Junty, and he was saying he is a big Heisman candidate. Everybody thinks he's gonna win it before the season even started, and we were chatting about that, and I was telling him how I was a big Ashton Junty fan, and it was really cool to hear his perspective of just how he's just a really good dude, like putting in the hard work, good student as well. So it's cool to see that it's transitioning on the field for Junty as well. Favorite player in the class. Kind of wish he didn't get this much hype because now everyone's just gonna be like, your favorite player is the best player in the class. Like, no, we were stamping this since last before the season started last year.
Yeah.
We've been on the Ashton Junty wave. We ain't new to it. We've been on that wave. Wide receiver converted to running back, elite receiving back, dual threat guy. He is that new age Kareem Hunt on steroids, so I'm excited for him. And that's the only player I really want to see alongside Quinshon Judkins.
Yeah. And what I really want to bring into it, and again, if you guys are new to us, make sure you guys hit that, smash subscribe button to the YouTube page. We do now have super chats. So if you guys want to get your, your trade question answered or any of your roster things, you throw it up there on the screen. We got you covered. We got the Patreon. Everything is booming right now. But the cool thing is, I'm looking at Keep Trade Cut right now, Snoog, and I'm looking at, your top 12 rookies, just how much this 24 class has ascended. Right now, Jaden Daniels is going 101 overall, and he was the 104, 103, 104. Malik Neighbors was 103, 104. He's going fourth overall, according to Keep Trade Cut, which I think that's wild, trying to take him over Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud. To me, that's a little bit more recency bias. They got Marvin Harris Jr. going 9, Brock Bowers 13. They got Brian Thomas Jr. in the top 20. But the idea here is, Snoog, we helped so many people hit on their 24 draft picks. We talked about that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about, this is the pick that you have. What is it worth in comparison? Who do you like? To me, there are, right now, Jaden Daniels is considerably over the 101. Even if you come and say, what, Ashton Junty is the next Barry Sanders, I don't care. Because we're talking about quarterbacks. We're talking about. I do care. If
someone's giving me RB1 production for 15 years, sign me up. They're the 101 in Superflex.
Yeah. We're into that area, but we're gonna start with the 102. We're gonna start with the 101 versus who it would be the 102 in this year's class if we were redrafting. It's either Daniels or it's Neighbors. We're gonna talk about it, and I want to get your idea. We're gonna go Neighbors, 101, and Amon Ra St. Brown. So you have a rookie. You have a vet, and you have the pick. What do you want? Keep one, trade one, cut one. Let's do it. No, you can't do that. That's impossible. But break them down here. So, Junty's your 101. Do you want Malik Neighbors? Do you want Junty, or you want Amon Ra St. Brown right now?
I'm going to take Malik Neighbors because I think he actually has a chance to First off, let's just say this before we move on. Nobody's stealing the wide receiver 1 role from Justin Jefferson. Nobody. He is going to be one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm just so sick of hearing it. It's just
every
nonsense.
Analyst
Malik Neighbors is elite. He's great. He's not Justin Jefferson, and he'll never be Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
I'm sorry for anybody I offend because I'm the biggest Malik Neighbors fan.
Yeah.
He was literally one of the guys that I was on when he was a true freshman. So it feels good when someone like that hits. But Justin Jefferson is a Jerry Rice type guy. Like, he is going to be good forever. But Malik Neighbors could be that second guy behind Justin Jefferson. So give me Malik Neighbors there. Give me Junty second, though. I'm taking Junty over Amon Ra St. Brown. As long as he goes in the first round of the NFL draft, I will do that. If not,
which he will.
If he's a second round pick, he won't be. Then I would take Amon Ra St. Brown because draft capital speaks. Usually those first round running backs are just as elite as they come. If Junty is a first round pick and if he goes to just any decent landing spot, if he's going to be probably a top 15, top 10 pick, the Chargers could be a team that is a very run-heavy offense that probably invests into a running back like that and has a great offensive line, and the guy will get 1 million touches. Some other teams, the Bengals are 1-4. Some of these good teams that are just having a bad year that could end up being a top 15 pick. The Rams could replace Kyron with a guy like that. These are the type of running backs that blow up a room. It doesn't matter if you have a Kyron. It doesn't matter if you have a Travis Etienne it doesn't matter. The team will take them if he falls. You saw it with Gibbs and Swift. Like you saw it with Algier after having 1,000 yards as a rookie. Bijan came right in. They didn't care. So these are the type of things that you got to look for.
Outside of, and this is where we're crazy right now. I'm with you completely. Real quick, if you guys can take Amon Ra St. Brown and add a second to get to Malik Neighbors, if you're rebuilding, that's the type of move where you go ahead and you get foundational and younger at the same time. But Snoog, how many players right now, positionally, would you rank over Ashton Junty today? Non-quarterbacks, just wide receivers and running backs. I mean, Jefferson, Chase, Lamb, Harrison, Malik, and any running backs?
I think you put him in the tier with Gibbs, Brees, and Bijan
already.
Right now. Already.
Yeah. And if you're contending,
if he gets a landing spot I like, he could be one easily.
Yeah.
One.
But if you're contending,
Gibbs is my one right now. Gibbs is my one right now. Best offense out of all of them. Best offensive line out of all of them. Highest scoring upside. Touchdown scoring upside. And he has the best receiving upside out of that group. So Gibbs is number one. It's that.
Dude, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Love it, man. While you guys are doing this, I love it. You guys are jumping in the live stream. I'm going to get to you guys in the Patreon. Whenever we jump on here, you guys are always jumping in. I will send you that link as soon as I can. I just can't stop mid-podcast. 102.
Can you pull up pictures, or is it going to crash?
Not right now. We've got to get shout out to Andrew Barktil and Oscar Alonso. Appreciate you guys for jumping in there. So we're going to talk 102, and yeah, we need a tech guy. 102, we're going to talk. Brock Bowers has ascended into just a crazy stratosphere. He is the Dynasty tight end one. I feel like, Snoog, we're looking at the Dynasty tight end one for the next 5 years, period. But Brock Bowers, the 102, or Nico Collins. So you and I both agree right now that the 102 is either Shedeur Sanders or Tet McMillan. For this, we're going to call it Tet, just for we're there. So Brock Bowers, Tet McMillan, or Nico Collins. We're going to say it's just a standard tight end premium, 1.5. Not what you and I play, 1.75. Not anything crazy where it's 2.0 or start 2. So Bowers, 102, or Nico.
I'm going to take Nico. He got the contract. He's tied to CJ Stroud. He is the biggest riser for me. He went from, I think he was in my top 12. I think he was 10. No, he was 12 or 11 before the season. He's right there after Chase, Lamb, Jefferson, and Neighbors. He's ahead of Marv for me. He's 5 for me. I'd say he's probably 6 behind Marv and Neighbors, or he's 5 ahead of Marv. But
I still have him 7.
I'm taking
I
Bowers.
I have Amon Ra there too.
I'm taking Bowers over the 102. Dad, how many times did we say on the shows, Brock Bowers is the generational tight end prospect. He's the best tight end prospect ever. Better than Kyle Pitts, better than any of those guys.
For sure.
I remember on one of the shows we were talking, and we were doing this type of show, and it was Laporta, Brock Bowers, or something. And I remember saying Brock Bowers is my tight end one in Dynasty, and he has been.
I was screaming all offseason, get Bowers in a first for Laporta in a second. And I remember getting multiple tweets being like, Dad, this is just stupid. No, this is called how we win insulated trades.
Tell Laporta
the writing was on the wall.
That good. He's a good player, but he's not. He's not as good as he
1.75 premium. I want Bowers over Tet or Nico. 1.5. I think it's really directionally because Nico's 25. He'll be 26 in season. Tet just 20 years old. He'll be 21. Bowers is 21. He'll be 22. So if I'm rebuilding, I still want the 102 because I feel like that'll give you more ammo that at this time next year. I don't think Bowers or Nico will be worth more than the 101. I don't think that's there, but I think 102. If I'm rebuilding, I want 102. If I'm not, if it's 1.75 Brock, if it's standard, I want Nico. Love all three of these guys. I'm glad we did it this way because the next one set up. Keep Trade Cut has Caleb Williams as the 104, but we're going to play 103 in this class. Caleb Williams, the 103, which we have is Shedeur Sanders or Kyler Murray.
Caleb. Or Kyler, then Caleb for me.
Here's the deal, right? Caleb Williams is now a buy because he is all the way down outside of your top 20 dynasty assets on Keep Trade Cut. You're like, he has 2 300-yard passing games already.
Before the season, you could have got
Daniels in a first, which I was posting everywhere. And now you can do it the other way, and that's why Dynasty is so awesome.
Are you doing it the other way?
I'm doing it no, I'm not paying a first on top of Caleb to get to Daniels because I think
getting a first in Caleb.
I would 100% take Caleb Williams in a first, and I think this is that opportunity where we even talked about it before. Burrow's had a hot start. I think you get a first plus on top of Caleb Williams for Burrow. I think Caleb Williams is a buy right now. I mean, that's as crazy as it is. I think Kyler Murray's looked great, but Caleb Williams, we talk about it in Dynasty Snoog. I mean, right now, I think. I want to pull them up so I don't like miss it up on there. But I think there's not a huge difference in points per game over the last several weeks with Caleb Williams and Kyler Murray. I mean, Caleb right now is a QB. He's QB 21, but over the last couple of weeks, you look and he's posted 22, 15, and 28 fantasy points with 2 300-yard games in his last 3 games.
Kyler.
You know what I mean? Over that time period. When a quarterback or any position player for that matter outscores the guy at the same age, you know, I mean, like you can't argue that you're going to draft Amon Ra St. Brown over Malik Neighbors because he's 5 years younger and he's outscoring him and he has the pedigree. Caleb has the pedigree. Caleb is in that area. I mean, it's tough for me to argue that I would rather have Kyler Murray than Caleb Williams right now.
Yeah, it is. It is weird to say. Kyler is just such a buy, though. He's so good.
I agree.
Think once it clicks for that offense, Kyler is going to start really, really cooking.
And he's had 2 really beastly games.
Really, so yeah, he's had like a 30-something bomb and a 28 bomber. So he's.
You asked me about Daniels versus Caleb. I'm the quarterback guy. You're the wide receiver guy. You could have gotten, and I did get Malik in a first for Marv early on in the process. What's the value difference for you now? If you were selling Malik for Marv, second, mid,
late second, I still think they're wishy.
Pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. Let's move on to the 104. I love that. I love talking rookies. I love talking about this process because it gets people thinking. Right now, Brian Thomas Jr., who was the 108, is now valued in that area of that 103, 104. For this purpose, we're going to say Brian Thomas Jr., the 104, which I don't know where you're at. I have Luther Burden at the 104 right now. You could argue him or Quinshon Judkins, however you want to do it, or Drake London.
Ooh, I'm taking London.
Over Brian Thomas Jr. I'm taking BTJ.
I'm going to take London. I love BTJ. I love that he's getting the hype he finally deserves. But remember when we had him graded as a top 15 NFL draft pick? NFL messed up. He should have been top 15 pick. I'm taking Drake London. I just think I love Drake London right now, and I love his situation there with Kirk Cousins, and Zach Robinson's dialing in. Like it's all out routes, crossers, and deep curls for London, and he's just getting every catch, getting every target, and he's getting some yak. So I think he's a really, really high floor. Still 23 years old, elite prospect. I love some Drake London. I think he's a good buy. I'm gonna trade Brian Thomas Jr. though, and then I'm gonna go at Judkins over Burden as my 104, I think, right now. I'm not a big Burden guy at all. I actually take
Yeah.
BTJ over Burden as a prospect. I think he's a better prospect.
I'm taking BTJ over all three of them. I'm like, I'm moving him into my top 10 dynasty wide receivers. I think this is going to be legit.
I'm fine with that.
He's just got that dog in him, and I'm excited to see Trevor Lawrence finally, targeting into something special here. So I'm in on it. 105, and this is now we start to get a little bit more interesting. So you said you're going to go Judkins. We'll call this one Burden, or we'll just say the 105 because that's the cool thing about the picks, right? Is you talk about a player, if that's Rome Odunze, and you and I talk about it all the time, is once you draft a player, it's no longer a pick, it's a player, right? But when you have it at the pick, in the 105, you could have taken Maye, you could have taken Bowers, you could have taken Thomas, you could have taken Odunze. It was whatever you wanted. So right now, the 105, we'll call that Burden or Judkins here. Rome Odunze or Rashee Rice.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Rashee Rice.
I am too. And I think people are.
I still have him as my dynasty wide receiver 16.
What's awesome is you are going to get him for a late first by the time this is all said and done. You are not going to have to play. You're not going to have to pay the 105 that he's valued at right now. And we just talked about it last show. The PCL is a much better injury for him than the ACL. Easier to come back from. Going to be, put that explosiveness back on very quickly. Rashee Rice, I think this is the time where if you're rebuilding, you trade Rome for Rice. You trade, you don't trade 105 for Rice because you don't have to, but you just flip that area. I think Rome Odunze, we're not wrong on the process. I don't think anybody was. I think Caleb's going to eventually unlock him. They have no offensive coordinator. If Rome Odunze is in Jacksonville, where Brian Thomas Jr. is, he's excelling, right? If he's
doing great,
freaking the Patriots, now that Drake May is going to start, he'd be excelling. But that's our next one, 106. And I tried to keep these positionally based. So the 106, which now we're getting to a spot where the 106, is it Hunter? Is it Isaiah Bond? Are we Singleton? We don't even need to talk about who that player is going to be. I want to know, do you want Drake May, the 106, or Jared Goff? And to me, this one has me excited because I feel like this is a beyond a smash.
I'm going to go with Drake May.
Yeah.
I still think this. I really wish Drake May went to the Vikings because I think he would have been
special, man.
Insane. I think he would have been arguably QB1 in this class just from a talent perspective, mixed with that situation with Kevin O'Connell and that offense.
Yeah.
Sucks that he got literally the worst situation you could possibly ask for. No offensive line and no weapons, but
all podcasts I've been saying
gunslinger upsides there.
Yeah, 4 weeks, and they're not gonna have Drake May go out there and play some of those ballers, some of those defenses that Jacoby Brissett had to deal with. This is going to be interesting. A lot of people are trying to buy low on Pop Douglas now, Polk, maybe Baker. So people are going to start to get an opportunity. The wide receiver one for the Patriots is not there yet.
I think Baker plays because Drake May loves Trevon Baker. Yeah, I think he's going to pull some strings there because that's his go-to guy. That's his, all offseason, all in the preseason, he was targeting him at a high rate.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with him, punishing him, trying to be something. Figure it out, Gerard Mayo. Your job is to win games.
Drake May right now.
Crap. Drop it.
Is wide receiver, or is quarterback 17. I'm going to tell you a quarterback. You tell me if you think he's worth more than them by the end of the season. You ready? Jared Goff. Trevor Lawrence. Justin Herbert.
Oof.
You think he could pass these guys?
Nah. I think Drake, yeah. I think he can definitely pass Trevor Lawrence and Goff. I don't know about Herbert. But probably. I think
that's a tear down.
Herbert get traded.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to buy. Herbert is a great guy for rebuild right now if you can tear down because the talent is still there. But you're right. It's not going to happen with the Chargers and especially not this year. 107. And this was where I was scooping up Thomas. A lot of you were scooping up Worthy. It's still Worthy in this area. Worthy, the 107 or Zay Flowers?
Zay Flowers.
You think?
107, then Worthy, yeah.
Okay. And I think it's really close. But I mean, Zay Flowers has been hit or miss a lot of times in this Ravens offense. It's completely predicated on the run. I mean, we're going Derrick Henry, we're going Lamar Jackson, but I like that one. I don't have anybody worth the 108. You know, like I was like in this class with the way we have things set up, I skipped that one. I said Brooks is worth the 109. I don't think I'd pay the 108. So 109, Jonathan Brooks or George Pickens.
I'm taking the 109 because Jonathan Brooks wouldn't even be a top 5 running back in next year's draft class.
Thank you. You know how many people when I said Chuba Hubbard was a riser this week again that we're talking trash, saying that Jonathan Brooks is going to be the bell cow and Chuba's going to get 3 calories this week, and I'm like,
I think Brooks
stop.
is a good. I think Brooks is a good player and he's in a good situation. I just don't see a path where they rush him this year. Like I don't think they need to risk anything. I think they ease him in, let him get used to the offense, the flow, and they have a guy in Chuba that's a vet there and has been dominating. So there's just no reason to risk re-injuring Jonathan Brooks. I think Brooks is a great play for next year though in that offense.
I love when you guys ask these questions on Twitter and YouTube. It has nothing to do with the show, but Bigsby or Madison, dude, it's Bigsby. He's the number one waiver priority. Another one, only one rest of schedule, Tank or Juju.
Tank.
It's Tank. If that's Tank, this is the week of the tanks. Go get Tank Dell. Go get Tank Bigsby. And both of them. Juju had a nice week, but Snoog, are we going to see Amari Cooper or Devontae Adams in Kansas City? Like, please just will it into fruition.
In the Rashee Rice role would be unstoppable.
I'll take Cooper. You know, that'll work too. It's a consolation prize. Yeah. Moving to 110. JJ McCarthy, 110 or Justin Fields? You're like, I don't want any. I'll tell you that.
Justin Fields.
I'm taking Fields. I'm taking Fields. McCarthy, and I was talking with Zoltan, and he's been making some trades for McCarthy. And if you're a contender, I think you can trade McCarthy. You know, I have him as quarterback 5 and 6 on some teams because at 109, 110, I was scooping him up everywhere. I think Sam Darnold is going to come back down to reality. He did a little bit this past week. I think a lot of people are really worried about JJ McCarthy because they think Sam Darnold is going to be a long-term effect because they look at him like Baker Mayfield 2.0. I just don't see it. I think he's got great weapons. It's a great system. It was set up for JJ McCarthy, and I think McCarthy starts next year.
Sam Darnold's going to be good until he has to do more than what he's being
Correct.
asked to do.
Correct.
Once it's time where he has to.
Aaron Jones is hurt now. It's like
off platform.
If he has to, you're right. And JJ McCarthy can do those things. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome here. Next one, 111, Ladd McConkey or Chris Godwin.
Ooh, that's a good one. Definitely not Ladd. I'd say 111, there's a good chance you get like an Emeka Egbuka, maybe a Nick Singleton, maybe an Amari and Hampton, Travion Henderson. I'm going to roll with the 111 there. I'm going to just roll with it and hope that it's a running back with good day 2 draft capital and one of my top 5 running backs, or it's an Emeka Egbuka, or
Henderson could fall there.
Shot on like a Jalen Milroe, Cameron Ward, one of these just
Trey Harris
quarterbacks. There could be a quarterback outside of Shedeur Sanders, which they're probably going to be at least 1 or 2 between Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, Cameron Ward. One of those guys that, like, if it's a Milroe or if it's a Cam Ward, a guy with rushing upside that has SEC production and is a great athlete with a strong arm, I'll dice the roll, or I'll roll the dice on that type of play.
We can dice that roll. Dice that up, man.
Everyone keeps I liked Ladd McConkey as a prospect. Everybody keeps hyping up Ladd McConkey, but like if things aren't changing for Justin Herbert, what's going to change for Ladd McConkey?
Yeah.
Ladd McConkey needs 10 receptions a game to be any sort of fantasy relevant. He's getting like 6 yards per catch. Like he's going to be that guy that gets 6 receptions for 48 yards and puts up 10 points.
It's Josh.
He's
Josh
touchdown or bust, or he needs ridiculous. Yeah, he's literally Josh Downs. Good player would be way better in a different offense. His offense just isn't it. And I know
he would kill it.
An elite
he would kill it in Kansas City.
Just barely throw the damn ball.
Yeah. No, I love that. And, with this particular episode, we just wanted to talk a little bit about the 25 class. We're going to continue to hit on the 2025 rookies all off season. We're going to continue to hit on them all season. We just did the rebuild episode. Now we're going to really start to hit you guys with the dynasty content. We got you guys rolling into redraft. We got you guys where you need to be. We're going to continue to hit you guys up with that. Make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. Check us out in our Patreon Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. I'm at DynastyDadFF. He's at FFSnoog. We appreciate you guys, and thanks again for tuning in, and enjoy the process. I like it. I think there's a way